Cece is sitting on the floor. She can't even talk yet. She's not even a year old. And her own grandmother looks at this baby and says out loud, "The kid's probably dumb because she got her dad's genes," about her own granddaughter. That's basically the scene that kicks off this whole talk. And right after that line, Mandy quietly packs her stuff and moves out with her husband and baby into a beat-up apartment right next to the train tracks, where trains shake the walls all night. Anything to get away from her mom. And almost everyone who watches the show slaps the same label on Audrey after that. Heartless. A Karen. A cold witch with not one good bone in her. Someone you just want to mute. But there's one scene where she gets drunk with her daughter and drops just a couple of lines about her past. And that's where the whole picture flips upside down. Suddenly, Audrey doesn't look like an abuser or a manipulator. It's the opposite, because Audrey McAllister isn't cruel for no reason. Her cruelty has an exact, specific source. Every mean thing she says after that scene hits different. Almost all the clues are sitting right there in plain sight. In normal scenes, you breeze right past without thinking, but put them all together and you get a completely different woman than the one you were mad at the whole show. Hey, grab a seat on Cooper's couch. Today we're breaking down Audrey McAllister, the one you've been waiting for the most. And sorry the video took so long, I had some family stuff going on. So why does this woman act the way she acts? Audrey has 2 kids, her daughter Mandy and her son Connor, and she treats them like they're from 2 totally different families. When Mandy, a grown woman, got pregnant and ended up with no money and no place to live, what did her own mother do? She shut the door in her face. No help at all. No money, no roof over her head. Her pregnant daughter basically got pushed out onto the street, and Mandy first lived in Georgie's garage, then moved in with his Meemaw. Her own mom said no, and the one who took her in was the grandma of the very guy Audrey can't stand. And what's Connor doing this whole time? He's over 20. He doesn't work anywhere. He lives at home, plays the bagpipes and the organ, writes his own music, makes up his own languages, and doesn't lift a finger around the house. And what does Audrey do? She treats him like he's made of glass, cooks for him, defends him, fusses over him like he's some priceless vase. Feel the difference? The daughter slips up one time, and she's out on the street. The son does nothing with his life for years, and he's getting spoon-fed and praised. Meanwhile, Audrey's opinion of Georgie is locked and solid. To her, he's dumb, worthless, an outsider for months. And you know what finally moved her? Not his work. Not the fact that he busts his butt day and night. It was Connor coming back from a trip and telling his mom, "Georgie's a good guy, I'm glad he was around." And Audrey just froze, didn't know what to do. So her opinion of a person has nothing to do with the actual person. It depends on what her favorite kid says. That's how deep this split goes in her. One kid is a god, the other is a target. Real life works like that a lot too, but the show shows it to us in a super exaggerated way. But if we stop here, you get that same flat picture. Mean mom, favorite son, unloved daughter. And what comes next makes no sense at all. There's an episode where Audrey and Mandy go out for drinks, just the 2 of them. And Audrey gets pretty drunk. All that armor she always wears falls off, and she suddenly becomes alive. Fun, relaxed. Not the stone-cold woman we're used to at all. And in that state, she lets it slip. She tells her daughter that she had her kids really young, that she had her own plans, her own dreams, a dream of a career, of politics, of a life that wasn't just being a wife and a mom, and she buried all of it to hold the family together. And in another episode, when the 2 of them are trying to set up the nursery for the baby, Audrey tells Mandy flat out, "Don't make my mistakes, don't throw your life away the way I threw mine away." Audrey looks at Mandy and she doesn't see her daughter. She sees herself, 29, a career, her own life, independence, and all of it going down the drain because of a surprise baby with a guy who never went to school. That's literally her own story, her own script, playing out again right in front of her. Her cruelty, it's terror. The terror of a woman screaming at her daughter in a panic because she knows exactly how it ends. She lived through this script and she knows how heavy that forever resentment at yourself gets later. Now think back to the start, to how she kicked her pregnant daughter out onto the street. It's still an awful thing to do. Yeah, but now it sounds different. It's not just heartlessness, It's a desperate, twisted attempt to shove Mandy back out anything so she doesn't get stuck in the same cage Audrey got stuck in. It came out monstrous, but the reason behind it is fear, not hate. One drunk conversation, and the whole character reads completely differently. Okay, we've covered the daughter and the son, but there's one person Audrey turns into a full-on monster around, no breaks at all, and it's not Georgie, it's Mary Cooper, the other grandma, Georgie's mom. These two women are fighting an actual war, and their battlefield is Little Cece. The wildest part here is the christening thing. Mary secretly, behind the parents' backs, baptizes the baby as a Baptist. And is Audrey any better? She just turns around and does the same thing, takes the baby, drives her to her Catholic priest, and secretly baptizes her a second time. This time, Catholic. The baby's parents are against it. Both grandmas just ignored what they wanted. For Audrey, beating Mary mattered more than respecting her own daughter. The religion here isn't about faith at all. For them, it's a way to mark their territory. What did all this turn into? Georgie and Mandy got so fed up with the circus that they ran off and got married at City Hall, quietly, without telling anyone, just so neither mom could butt in. That's how far the war between the two grandmas pushed them. It gets worse. In the spin-off, they're already fighting over the baby's photo album. Audrey puts the album together and on purpose doesn't put a single photo of Mary in it. Mary, of course, sneaks one of hers in, and boom, explosion. A giant fight over one photo. It's nothing, and they're at each other's throats over it. But here's what's important, and what a lot of people miss. In this pair, Audrey isn't the only one like this. Mary's no better. She also baptizes the kid behind the parents' backs. She also butts in. She also goes to war. So when it's about Mary, Audrey often isn't the one attacking first. She's snapping back at the same kind of nerve. Two equally stubborn women, just with different weapons. Mary's got religious guilt, Audrey's got snobbery, and money. And here's another side of her I didn't even notice at first. Audrey doesn't just control people, she keeps even the emotions in the house under control. There's a short scene where everyone's sitting and watching TV. Georgie says something simple. He likes comedies where you can hear the audience laughing. It makes it more fun for him. A normal, harmless thing to say. And Audrey snaps back. I only laugh when I decide to. And Georgie honestly points out, I've never once seen you laugh. There it is, the whole woman in one line. She keeps even laughter on lockdown. Spontaneous joy is weakness to her. In her house, you can't even laugh just because, without permission. But then she goes way harder. Georgie is actually a 19-year-old kid who just lost his dad and is now carrying somebody else's family on his back. At one point, it hits him so hard that he has a panic attack and goes to the hospital thinking he's having a heart attack. The next morning, wrecked, he tries to apologize to Audrey for the mess. And how does she react to a kid who literally just fell apart from stress? She tosses out after him in this sweet little voice, "Have a nice day," with this poison smirk that's worse than any screaming. That, to me, is the nastiest thing about her. Cruelty doesn't always yell, sometimes it smiles, and that's the whole trick. From the outside, she didn't really say anything bad. She wished him a nice day, that's it. But really, she finished the guy off in his worst moment. And you can't even call her out on it. She was polite. Very convenient setup. And it's not a one-time thing. When Mandy's having problems in her marriage and comes to her mom for support, Audrey, instead of warm words, hits her with, "Jim and I never fight because we're adults." So she takes her daughter's pain and immediately uses it to put down her marriage and jab at Georgie at the same time. Even though she goes at it with Jim hard enough to make your head spin, Jim just eats it all. She's almost physically incapable of admitting she's wrong. Remember that apartment by the trains where Mandy ran off to after the dumb jeans line? Audrey shows up there to talk her into coming back. And she actually starts apologizing. She's right about to say the words. And right at that moment, a freight train roars past the window and drowns out everything. And when the noise dies down and Mandy asks her to say it again, Audrey refuses. Nope, and that's that. It's funny and sad at the same time. The woman will only apologize on the condition that nobody hears it. Her pride won't let her say a simple sorry out loud. Her own ego matters more to her than making up with her worn-out daughter. And she pulls the same move with Mary. After the photo album fight, Audrey, which is something incredible for her, actually drives over to make peace. She takes the first step, and then immediately wrecks it because instead of apologizing, she starts feeling sorry for Mary over the fact that she was recently widowed. So she came to make peace and ended up putting herself above Mary again. Even her attempts to be nice come out through pride. And there's one more layer under all of this. The thing that drives a lot of how she treats Georgie. Pure snobbery. Audrey isn't poor, you know. The family has their own auto shop, decent money, she's Catholic, she keeps up appearances. And who's Georgie to her? A guy with no high school diploma, with a country accent, a working man who gets his hands dirty. And she doesn't even hide it. When Mandy tries to praise her husband, says, you know, he's smart in his own way and good with money, Audrey shoots right back with venom. A hard worker who's thrifty. Wow, what a catch. When they're setting up the nursery, Audrey suggests doing it library style, so the baby learns to love reading. Sounds sweet, but really it's a dig. She's hinting that her son-in-law and daughter are uneducated, that they never open a book. And the most telling moment, the season 1 finale. Georgie's actually busting his butt at the shop, keeping it running, dreaming that one day it'll be his, and Jim and Audrey go and decide to sell the shop to someone else. When Georgie gets upset, they tell him straight, this is a McAllister family decision. Family, meaning you, kid, aren't family to us, you're an outsider. Just like that, in one line, they reminded him of his place. Though in the end, Georgie did buy the shop by putting up Mary House for the loan, but if it weren't for Mary, who knows how Georgie's life would have turned out. Anyway, the picture that comes together is pretty dark, but if I stopped there, I'd be lying, because there's another side. And without it, the talk wouldn't be honest. Audrey isn't a cardboard villain. That matters. She doesn't just throw shade. She gets drunk with her daughter and has a real human chat with her. She drives over to make peace with Mary on her own, by her own choice clumsy, but she does it. At one point, she teams up with Georgie to redo the shop for female customers, and it actually works, and respect for his business sense wakes up in her. And the actress who plays her even said she doesn't see Audrey as a villain, but as a mama bear who wants the best for her daughter in her own way. The methods are just brutal. Worth clearing up a couple of things fans always get mixed up. A lot of people are sure Audrey took pregnant Mandy in at her house. That's not true. She kicked her out. Mandy only moved in with Audrey later after the baby was born and after they made up. Those are two different time periods, and people keep mixing them up. People also love to slap diagnoses on her. Narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, but none of that holds up. A real narcissist can't admit they're wrong and apologize, period. And Audrey clumsily, through her pride, but she does apologize. She takes the first steps herself. So it's not a clinical diagnosis, just a very flawed, scared person with garbage ways of coping. And no, she doesn't hate her granddaughter. The opposite, she fights for her. All these wars over the christening, the photo album, the nursery, it's not from a lack of love. It's that same smothering need to control and be in charge. So here's my point with all of this. When you watch the show the first time, Audrey reads simple, mean mother-in-law, annoying. But when you put it all together, the daughter she kicked out, the son she babies, the war with Mary, that drunk talk about buried dreams, the apology under the roar of the train, a completely different person comes together. Her cruelty is fear that her daughter will repeat her life. Fear of losing the control she holds in a death grip because she already lost everything once. Fear of ending up unwanted. And the saddest part, this armor crushes the exact people she's supposedly protecting. What do you think about Audrey? And do you agree with me? And if you feel like rewatching a couple of her scenes with this new view, well, you know whose couch this is. Stick around on Cooper's couch, this is the stuff we break down here. And if you want to see extra paid content, let me know. I'll figure something out so I can put out extra videos, but not on YouTube, maybe on something like Patreon. See you all soon.